On Braveheart, I'll tell you. So that era was before scripts were digital, right? So we were working in visual effects, which means you were trying to figure out which films are going to be financed and go next because that's where the money is, and then get a copy of those scripts and hopefully meet with the director producer and say like, hey, we could do your visual effects, right? We're a vendor, we're a service house, like ILM, like Digital Domain, like like go down the list. There are a lot of great ones, right? Rhythm and Hughes at the time. And so someone had slipped us the Braveheart script, and we had gotten a meeting with Bruce Davey, who was Mel's partner, and Steve McAveety and Jim Lemley, like the production team. And I didn't know much about it. This was before there was a lot of buzz. Like Ain't It Cool News was just taking off, I think, at that point. So you didn't really know much about these things, but we knew it was this period epic that Mel Gibson wanted to direct. And it was like a Tuesday night. And you've gone home so many nights in a row with a bag full of scripts you have to read, and you hate them all. Most of them are awful, right? And I remember looking at this, and it was thick. It was like 160, 180 pages, something where it just is like, oh man, I'm like, okay, I'm going to read like 20, 30 pages, enough to be in the meeting and be like, right, yeah, this is the one about the Scottish guy. Cool, okay, the play along. Cut to 2 a.m., and I was finishing the last page. I was like, this thing is so ridiculously good. So we all came into the office next morning, and everyone was just like, we have to do whatever we need to do to get this. Like, this is a great movie. This is why you make movies, And keep in mind, we had done before that, like Demolition Man. So I'm just saying we are not, like hoity-toity. Like, you're working for money, okay? So yeah, they came in. And Mel came because he was pretty serious about being a director. We didn't think Mel, the big personality, would come in.
Right.
He's like, yeah, I'm the director. I'm here. This is not me as a star, and I'm not going to star in it. If you remember, he was not, he was adamant that he was not going to star in Braveheart because he wanted to be developing a career as a director, right? So he had done Man Without a Face, I think, at this point, sort of smaller, one to bite off to develop his directing confidence.
Okay, of course, yeah.
And then this was one where finally, we'd met with him numerous times. He'd asked us to work on Immortal Beloved as sort of a audition to get Braveheart. We did that. We also designed and produced the logo for his company, Icon Productions. If you ever see that lightning bolts in the cracks of the Russian, if you ever watch one of the movies, the Icon movies, you'll see this animation. It's like lightning bolts, and the lightning bolts sort of retreat, and they're in the cracks of this old fresco or mosaic. And we got the movie, but it only got greenlit because Sherry Lansing was at Paramount, and she shared the movie with Fox financially, and she would only greenlight it if Mel agreed to star. And he finally had to cave and be like, okay, fine, I'll star in it so I can direct this thing. And, he was great in it. It was like manufactured for him. He's fantastic in it. And I had a bet when it was done and we had screened it. I was like, this is probably the best movie I've worked on, to be blunt. I'd worked on True Lies, worked on Seven, worked on, Carlito's Way, worked on a bunch of movies, and some of them good, some were bad. And it had a hard time box office wise. I made a bet with a buddy of mine when I saw the movie. I made a bet that it would make over 75 million domestic box office, right? And my friend who worked in television was like, no, man, period movies, they don't work. Like, no one wants to see them. So it came out, didn't make anywhere near 75. And my buddy was like, okay, I want to collect the bet. I was like, hold on. Let's see what's going to happen, right? And they released it a second time and a third time to get Academy Award attention, right?
Of course.
Then it got the Academy Award nominations. And they released it a fourth time after it had been nominated to like drum up interest for the actual Academy Awards.
Yeah.
And then it won Best Picture, and they released it domestically a fifth time. And my friend was like, this is not fair. This is like, no movies can find. And it made over 75. So I was like, pay up. He's like, this is insane. How many movies get re-released that many times? I was like, we never specified how long a period of time. Sure. It made over 75 domestic box office. I collected lunch or dinner or whatever it was.